Happy Whiskey Monday, everyone. I feel like there's too many days in the week that are whiskey in front of it.
Yeah, you can
or at the end of it.
You can make it what you want.
Right. Tonight we have a special broadcast. It's not the normal format, so hope you guys are okay with that. But we've got. I'm going to open my phone and it'll be talking to me. It's just you laughing, so it's all right. But yeah, still share it. Get you guys on here. Ask some questions. We'll have the comments open here, but we got a special bottle in front of us. Nate had a great opportunity to go to a local distillery here in Columbus, Ohio, Watershed Distillery, to participate in something that they did with the Ohio Liquor Agency. So OHLQ here in Columbus. And if you guys aren't in the in Ohio, hopefully this is still some good information for you. But if you are, it's going to be something even better for you to get some information on this. And it might allude to something that we're going to try to do in the future. But this is going to be a selection from Watershed, 1 out of 6, and we're going to get more information. And on top of the special bottle, the special experience, we also have a very special returning guest.
We can now say that. This now makes him a returning guest.
That's it.
Yeah.
This microphone is muted right now, though. I didn't do that. I don't know if you can unmute it.
I'm just used to it with the kids running around.
So we've got Aaron Harris, who is the
Head Distiller.
Head Distiller. That's what it says on the bottle. I mean, is that the title? I feel like there was an issue last time we were on the show.
No, I've said it before. I'll say it again. When the world deems me fit to call me master distiller, I'll be a master distiller. But until then, I'm the head distiller.
Head distiller. That's the occupation. Master distiller, I feel like, is like a more than just an occupation.
Yeah. Like there's levels of belts you have to go through to get that.
Yeah.
If there was a clear path to that, it would be a lot easier to be.
Is it just someone? I mean, is it like someone with a clout in the industry deems that, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think you got to have way more gray hairs than me, and
okay.
I think if marketing can spin it, they'll pull that title out of a closet and give it to you.
All right, fair enough. Well, so Aaron and Nate, I'll kind of take a step back here. Let you guys first talk about Tuesday.
Okay.
So you guys were like were you in charge of it? I mean, Aaron, were you the one kind of running it? Was that done by? Tell me about it.
So Greg was running it.
It's like no.
Well, no. So Aaron was there. Okay. Wes was there. Rochelle. Rochelle's the new marketing lady after Ann left. The lady from the PR company that had originally reached out to Steve was there.
Allison.
Yes, Allison.
Yeah.
But Allison and Molly are they're our PR reps.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Greg was the one that was kind of the MC, talking to everybody.
Okay.
The ladies went around and poured the bottles for everybody. Aaron and Wes just kind of worked the crowd and talked with people. Went around and basically like found out, what people thought of the bottles.
And what was the event? Like
it was
a lot of people don't know what you actually did.
So it was for people in the social media community around whiskey and bourbon, and they brought, I think there was 14 of us that they brought in to sample all 6 of the single barrels that just became released today.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And so we got to try all 6 of them. And after the 4th one, Greg actually did a, straw poll, like, who liked barrel 1 the best, 2, 3, 4. And then at the end of the night, we had to write our names down on a piece of paper and put which bottle we thought was the best. And then we'd be able to pick that up over the weekend. So that way we'd be able to post it on our social media and do shots with it and talk about it.
Shots?
Not those kind of shots.
I shouldn't do shots.
Photos.
I wouldn't do shots
at this bottle. Not this bottle. This is the one you don't want to do shots of. Photos of, yes.
It'll knock you on your ass, man.
But yes, and what was amazing was out of the 6 bottles, there were multiple votes for each bottle as their favorite. There was no.
So it was spread.
I don't believe Aaron probably has the numbers better than I do, but I don't believe there was any bottle that was a runaway that was the clear cut favorite among.
No, it was really even. which that's what you want. That's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the one that I picked. This is the one they called Ohio Dutch Apple. The reason I picked this one was, for me, I thought this was one of the most unique bottles that we had there.
Okay.
I think the last bottle we tried, which was, as Greg said, it was the last barrel of their original 5-grain mash bill. So that barrel was 7 to 8 years old.
Okay.
That one, having that Ohio Svelte in it was very, very unique. However, I told Aaron this that night. I didn't want to pick that bottle because that's not what Watershed's doing now. I wanted to pick something that represents Watershed today and going forward.
Okay.
And this one, I didn't know what the proof on it was when I first sipped it, because we'd already had a couple by then. I thought this was lighter than the first two I had, and I was guessing like 120.
That's what I guessed.
I shared some with you Saturday night, and you guessed 120 as well. The other gentleman in the shop,
120-ish, like it was mid 120s, I think I said.
Yeah, I think you said 125, and Josh said 131. And this bottle comes. Aaron, what's the proof on the Ohio Dutch Apple?
What is it? 140? I don't know.
Yeah, 140.6.
What was it?
140.6.
Yeah, we argued about it during the pick process. We argued about it when we were bottling it. We argued about it when we picked the labels, and it was like, guys, we've double checked it. It's there.
That's shocking. That's a big swing there.
Yeah.
Is that the highest proof that you've had on a Watershed bottle?
Printed, yes.
Printed. As far as you know, asshole.
As far as you're going to find out today.
Oh gosh. Well, that's by far the strongest proof I've ever had on a whiskey. So yeah. But like I said, and I didn't know if it was because I'd had to, but I was rinsing my glass out with water. I was drinking water between each different bottle. Mm-hmm. So that way I was trying to take each one on as fresh a palate as I could. So the lady had already poured mine, and I'd already taken a sip or two before she called out to the group, yeah, this one is at 140.6. And I'm like, really? Fooled me. I thought it was a little lighter.
So we have a familiar face here watching, but had a question here, Aaron, for you about Andemic watching right now. How did a barrel come in at 140 with multiple question marks?
Yeah, and get past her. That's what she's going to ask. Well, we if she'll remember, as we were looking at the sample proofs when we pulled the samples out of the barrels, we had checked with our density handheld density meter right then and there, and it read like high 130s, and then we did it again and it was like 126.8, and we ran with that during the whole pick process. But when we went and did a true proof on it with a hydrometer, it was high. I mean, it was really high.
Wow. Well, I mean, I want to get into a little bit more, but with this bottle, to Nate's point, it's one of those things we've talked about before on the show, and it's a fact that a lot of people look at like the proof and they automatically assume that it's going to be hot or it's going to have certain characteristics with the proof that it comes in at, whether it's 140, whether it's 80, whether it's 100 bottled in bond, if it's like the barrel strengths that you start seeing around like that, 110s and 120s and stuff like that. And I agree, Nate, with the fact that you were doing the samples. I think it could. I mean, it's tough to cleanse a palate completely.
Yeah.
Between some barrel strengths. I mean, it is, especially for someone that doesn't do it all day long. But this does not drink like it reads. I don't think.
No.
I mean, you drink enough of it, I think it'll prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think,
yeah,
because like basically like one pour is almost equal to 2 pours of a normal whiskey.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I actually thought about doing a little story on Instagram where it's like, all right, 80 proof liquor, here's a shot. If you're drinking 120 barrel proof, it's a lot less whiskey.
Shot and a half.
So, and then like put it like actually in a Glencairn in a rocks glass. Like this is what an actual pour of this stuff looks like.
Yeah.
like a finger is not a pour, like depend of this at least.
Depends on the glass, but Aaron, tell us a little bit, if you don't mind, like the process. Why did this come to be? What's the putting this into fruition here as far as 6 different barrels for OHLQ? Like, was there a design behind doing 6? Is it just something that they wanted to kind of make it a fun hunt for people to try to collect all of them, or what's the thought process there?
Well, I mean, once again, any collaboration we can do with Ohio liquor is wonderful for us, and it's wonderful for the state of Ohio to be able to have an outlet for our single barrels, especially to be on such a platform. Really is the biggest names in the game coming out of OHLQ. I think last year there was, I believe there were 3 or 4 barrels. Someone watching will remind me, I'm sure. But they were incredibly successful. And, very thankful for Jim Canepa and Lorraine Terry and now Ann Dimmick for coming back at us and saying, hey, can we do 5? And then the night of the pick, it was, oh, well, let's just do 6. So great. And, that's the goal. We are all about Ohio. We support everything Ohio that we can. And just to have a platform to be with OHLQ is fantastic. So we love the relationship we have with them, and just happy to grow that. Happy to have another collaboration with them.
So if I remember correctly from last Tuesday, you guys, for that, you picked out of 12 barrels and narrowed it down to 6, correct? Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it was a long night.
It sounds like a lot of fun, though.
It was fun. You should come next time.
You got my number. Yeah, send me an invite and I will be there. I may have to take a week off work or the podcast, but
a week.
No, a night. Recovery.
All right.
But no, so how do you guys, so you picked 12 barrels, and if I remember correctly, they were also picked from your bottled and bond stock as well.
Yes.
So how do you narrow down from 12 to 6? How do you determine what 6 you're going to use to represent Watershed?
But I do want to put a comment up here from Ann on that number. Just, they tried them, planned to buy 4, but there were 6 they couldn't leave behind.
I feel like Ann wanted to take those barrels with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun night that night. We tried a new kind of system where we rated each barrel 1 through 10, and really what majority won for those picks. Worked out really fun, and we've kind of mutated a few picks since then to kind of be in a similar format. It kind of prevents you from getting off into the weeds and running down rabbit holes when you're there to pick the barrel and have a good time doing it. So it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah. How many people were involved that night to do this project?
I want to say there was probably 9 or 10 people there.
Wow.
Probably 6 picking and some support staff that were fantastic.
Nice.
Were they all people that work at Watershed, or obviously Watershed, OHLQ?
I believe we had 3 people there from OHLQ, and then that was Ann, Lorraine, Terry, and I feel so bad for forgetting the gentleman's name. I believe his name was Matt, but Ann can correct me if she's still watching. And then myself, Greg Lehman, our CEO and founder, and Nikki Moore, our director of sales.
Okay, it's a good mix. I just put 3 small drops of water in it.
Me too.
3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Quit copying me.
It was Kevin, apparently.
Hive mind.
But yeah, so the 3 drops of water, what do you think about it?
So what I liked about this bottle before, the reason I picked it, like, to me, this one was very, very, because I like unique stuff. You know me, you've known me long enough doing this. I like unique products.
Yeah.
This one was one of the most unique because it was very, very bright. It had this very nice, crisp apple note and floral note to it. As Aaron said, a lot of smoke as well.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just so unique that, after the other two, which were a little heavier on like the sweeter notes or caramel, this one had like that cinnamon candy note that I get sometimes from like a single barrel rye.
Yeah. And that got more pronounced with 3 drops of water.
Yes, it did.
That
more like a little bit more of that, like
yeah,
high rye, like a single barrel rye,
like a little bit, a little burning your tongue a bit.
And we've noticed that with some in the past where like sometimes you add a little bit of water, it gets a little sweeter, takes the burn off. Other ones you add water and it actually just enhances.
They just lit it on fire, man. You fucking lit that on fire with the 3 drops of water.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah.
That's something you don't think that you're gonna be like, I'd prefer it just no water, just neat when it's 140.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little too crazy when I add water and proof it down.
Yeah. Aaron, what did you think of this one?
Tasting notes were great. I thought they were pretty on point. For me, it's a barrel that's aiming really far out of its league. I mean, it does a great job. It's set itself apart from its sister barrels in that grouping a whole lot. So I thought it was great. And you're right. It could have been a nice single barrel to offer someone, but I'm happy that LHLQ got it before anyone else could.
Yeah, I agree. I remember Greg saying on Tuesday night, like one of the things that you guys were really aiming for with these barrels in particular, especially being an OHLQ pick, you guys wanted to have stuff that was
all over,
set apart from what your normal daily products are.
Absolutely.
Something that was different than the regular 4-year blend and the bottled and bond that you guys already do that are fantastic. You guys want to do something different that really stood out and kind of showcases just what all you guys have to offer in terms of, your whiskey operation and what it is that you guys make.
Yes.
Yeah, and the proofs of this, the 6 that are out there, they range from the Creme de la Creme Brulée 121.49 up to this 140.6. And I mean, you got a 128, a 130, 2 of them are 126.
Mm-hmm.
So there is quite a difference of products out there. Talk to me about the names. Who came up with the names? Is that you or OHLQ?
I believe this was a group effort between our marketing departments and OHLQ. The biggest theme that went through this was the sweetness. So a dessert theme went along with this, obviously.
For sure.
Yeah. And I don't think you can do anything in Ohio without putting an apple in it. So, of course, we had to have something Dutch Ohio apple. So
I got it. Yeah, it's these names sometimes. We did one not too long ago that the name of the barrel, what was that we're just like, nope. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
I forget what bottle it was, but it's a little tricky sometimes if you use some of these.
Oh, I know what it was. It was last year. It was an OHLQ bottle from Maker's Mark. They called it the Caramel Mocha Bomb.
I didn't get caramel or mocha.
And we had it on the podcast and we had to sip right before we went live. We're like, where's the sweetness? Where's the chocolate? What the hell is this? Yeah. It was so disappointing because it just didn't live up to the name.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little tricky by doing this. This does have that, like we've talked, like a little bit of that, especially on the nose.
Apple.
Yeah.
You
got a rich lemon.
Any apple we get off most of our stuff is not a tart apple. It's a red apple peel kind of flavor on most of our stuff that I get.
I said that on a flavor note in recent weeks, and I got a really weird look from you when I said that.
That happens a lot.
Well, it happens. It comes through in our apple brandy as well. It's kind of the same note.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about how some of the notes match up, like the Buckeye or the Bourbon Buckeye. That one, I definitely got some dark chocolate notes on that one. Ohio Dutch apple, I definitely got that apple. I know one guy I was talking to, the Malt Shop.
Yeah, tell me about that one.
So that one was, for me, one of the more oilier barrels that we tried, and had a little bit more of that thicker caramel note to it for me.
All right.
So that one came across a little sweeter than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
And that the rich lemon pie,
tell me about that one too. That I saw. If I walked into an Ohio liquor store, and I'm like, oh sweet, they got the OHLQ picks, and it's rich lemon pie on the label. I'm like, shit.
Right up front, it was oily. It was a little sweet. That kind of dissipated. I definitely got some citrus on it, and the finish was extremely bright, kind of like the finish on this one, just kind of without that cinnamon or that heat.
Yeah,
but just a very, very bright whiskey. But like I actually went back and actually ranked them, and rich apple pie was actually my least.
Rich lemon pie
was my least favorite.
And the confectioner's cask.
That was what they started us with.
Okay,
and that one was 126.3.
What'd you say, Aaron?
It was sweet.
Definitely sweet. I got some of that like citrus zest on it. A lot of oak. And like on the finish for me, it was kind of like a black pepper on the finish.
All right, sounds good.
Kind of like we were drinking a BS Silver.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Finish, just the finish.
Crème de la Crème Brulée. That's I think the last one that you did not talk about.
That was the 5 grain. That was the last. Okay. The last of their. So like.
So this was literally in the order that you guys tried them.
So on all the bottles, the barrel number, it'll either begin 17 or 18. So that means it was barreled in either calendar year 17 or 18. This one's 18-0022.
Right.
The last one, the Crème de la Crème Brulée, that one just says barrel 811.
Okay.
So it was before they actually changed up how they numbered their barrels.
Yeah, we actually went to a different operating system and the numbers changed. And I know that's the last 3-digit barrel number, I believe.
So now it's completely different codes.
Yeah, I mean, they just threw a year date and then a serial number behind it.
Okay.
But as far as like a serial number, it's a standard TTB number like everyone else uses. We just have a different way of inventorying it.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, all the 5 of those barrels were from the bottled and bond stock.
Yeah.
So they were all 4 to 5 years old. That one was 7 to 8 years old. That Crème de la Crème Brulée.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? I do have a question, and Anne, if you're still listening as well, she said last post, so I don't blow up, and then she just posted again while I was reading that was going to be the last post. I don't. You're welcome to post all you want, Anne. That's what I was hoping. Will we see? I don't know if you know this, Aaron or Anne. I'm hoping, but will we see a gift pack? Is that ever in the works where you could get like a 6-pack of like either the 200 mil or whatever type of Ohio State? We walk in and it's the OHLQ 2022 set. I feel like the answer is no.
The answer is it's a hard one because we do the packs.
Yeah, I know.
We do like a 3-7 pack holiday pack. We do like a gin and tonic we've done before pack. The biggest issue for me is if we get much smaller than a 375, I'm obviously not putting in a 50 mil line or a 200 mil line or anything like that. But
I got you.
Could we reach more audience? Yes. Would it be as much of a premium product? Maybe not.
Well, I mean, you could come out swinging with 2-3 packs since you already have some of the the packaging for that. Because I know you had the 5-year and the old fashioned, and I think it was just the
regular bourbon
4 blended, right?
Yeah, I know there was a 6-year finish and after year finish, the old fashioned, and maybe I don't remember what the other one was. I know they were having more of them. I don't think.
That would be a cool thing that and Ann just said new marketing idea. That would be cool. Like if you guys do this again, to have that as something where it's like you obviously want to find them in the wild, but there's also 2-3 packs of like 375s that are whatever the price needs to be for it. But I think that would be kind of a cool thing for someone to be like, they walk in, like, oh, they've got the Ohio Dutch apple. I want to get that. Oh, shoot, over here they've got this other 3 that I can try all 3 of them. And I didn't lose out on the fact that, maybe it's just at the bottle shop you do that. I don't know. But
yeah. Well, the biggest thing with these picks was, you're only talking about 6 barrels, and each one of them yielded somewhere around, I think, 192 on the low end to 220 bottles. So, yeah. You're only talking a little over 1,000 bottles total. So if you find one, you better get it. because you're not going to see it again, probably.
Yeah, I was actually, because OHLQ hadn't updated their website yet today, and so I actually stopped by a couple liquor stores on my way over here to see if by chance they had gotten any in today, and because I was going to buy another bottle of whatever they had. Any of the other ones, I'd have bought a bottle of it because they were so enjoyable.
Apparently, there's some signings going on with the releases this week.
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think you're doing some signings, Aaron.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I randomly trying to pull up my phone for those dates, but I know I will be at.
One of them was a Worthington. I can't pull up the
I'm at Kroger, and then
Wylands is one.
Wylands Friday, I believe from 3 to 5, and then I believe I'm at Carfagna's from 6 to 8 Friday night.
Nice.
So all wonderful bourbon locations and huge supporters of us, and they're great accounts with us. So happy to support them, and happy to sign babies' foreheads, whatever we need to sign.
Whatever that Sharpie will hang on to. So what's you said today, just while we have you here? I mean, like you tried how many single barrels today?
At least 50.
Jeez.
But I mean, I'm not, and Ann knows this. I'm not going to sit through and write a poem about each barrel. It's not in me. It's a job. I'm trying to get through it and pick the best thing, to keep my guys in business and keep them working. And I think I needed a 10 barrel pick for the Bottled and Bond batch 6 release, and I only got 5 chose. So out of all that, I've got to get 5 more, and then I'll have a 10 barrel batch.
How many barrels are you guys sitting on right now?
2,200, 2,300, something like that in all spirits. Bourbon is a little under 2,000, something like that.
Okay.
Not near enough.
Not near enough.
Well, and so after the tasting, we actually went back into where they were storing the barrels. And Steve, we've done a tour last year at Watershed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ann was our tour guide.
Yeah.
Our honorary, non-official tour guide.
She'll tell you, she's like, I'm not a really good tour guide. And it's like, well, we all pretty much know what's going on here, and you just let us taste a bunch of whiskey. So that works.
Our best tour I've had in a distillery.
But if you remember,
bringing out bottles.
So in that room where they house the barrels, all the way in the back corner was their bottling line. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room. Like, you could literally fit that entire bottling process in your garage. All right.
Okay.
And still have room to do a podcast.
Hey, it's already getting crowded in here.
They can do 100,000 cases a year.
Wow.
With that setup. If they have 3 guys. If they have 3 guys running it. Right, Aaron?
3 guys. You got to have product. You got to have raw materials. You got to have the glass. You got to have somewhere to put it.
But that's what that setup is equipped to do.
Yes, it's top of the line. I mean, it's a Prospero unit out of Italy. You don't get a whole lot better.
Okay, so. How does someone go to Watershed, and like how do they go on a tour?
So I apologize. I believe we go through our website, watersheddistillery.com, and they can book a tour. I believe we're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday tours in the afternoons. Mark and Susan, and I believe I don't remember the other girl's name, Kayla, doing the tours right now. And they do a great job. And typically they start kind of over across the street from the distillery, the bottle shop there, get everybody loosened up and meet and greet. Then they go check out the distillery. Then they go back into the storage warehouse for a final tour, check everything out back there.
Okay. Speaking of that, I know we ended up in that. You talk about the bottle shop. Ann says watersheddistillery.com for tours. You can sign up there. But the other thing that you guys have going on there is the bottle shop and also the restaurant. So I've had the pleasure of dining there a handful of times, actually. Yeah. Gets me out of my old lady bubble over here on the northeast side of Columbus. I have very few miles on my car.
I ate there. I think it was back in November, December when you guys launched the brand new Burchino.
That's right.
you guys had a big release party for that, and so you guys had some nice hors d'oeuvres and cocktails set up for that. And I didn't realize until I had seen an email go out a few months ago. You guys, not only is your restaurant great, you guys have one of the top bartenders in the state.
Yes, city.
In the city. Okay, in the city.
That's debatable. Might be the state.
It's the biggest city in the state of Ohio, so I'm going to go with state.
That's fine. Yeah, I believe last year David Yee may have won it, and this year John, I'll butcher his last name, but Big John won it this year. I think the biggest thing for us is they're given the freedom to make very unique offerings, and people love them. I mean, it's one of the highest rated cocktail bars in the city.
Yeah,
not
happy
only
hour is fantastic.
Yes. Hors d'oeuvres are fantastic, along with everything there. That we've got a really cool magazine set up when you walk in.
I saw that the last time I was there.
15 drinks, they're fantastic.
Yeah, I had to try it. It was something that had mezcal in it. Took a sip of it, and it was kind of like, I don't want to say it was an old fashioned. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it had that smoky mezcal finish to it.
Yeah, I've got the book out in my car right now. I don't have one at my table right now, but
that's all right. But I mean, you're right. It's very cool. Have you seen the new menu?
I have not.
Cocktail menu. I didn't know what it was. It's sitting there like that. They obviously put it. We ate at the bar or whatever. Sitting at, I'm looking for the menu or whatever. Then I open it up. It looks like almost like a 614 type of magazine. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a local magazine. That's you start flipping through it, like, oh shit, this is the cocktail list.
Yeah,
big.
It's kind of reminiscent of the Time magazine. When you look at it, it's kind of what's the feel of it. Yeah,
it's very cool. And you're right, the cocktails, the food is tremendous, and the whole vibe is really cool as well.
Yeah. It's funny. So Watershed, Columbus based, born. When I was there a few weeks ago picking up a bottle, there was two ladies in there that they had entered one of the raffles that Watershed did recently.
Yeah.
For the
she travels for her job, and she happened to be in Louisville, and someone in Louisville mentioned Watershed and said, hey, they got a raffle going on for the Marianne Eves black label.
Yeah.
You need to get in it. And this lady knew who Marianne Eves was, so she signed up for it, won one of the bottles, flew up from Florida just to get the bottle. And they ended up buying some other stuff as well.
I would hope so.
But
maybe a hat or whatever.
Her and her mother drove up, got a bottle of that. They bought another bottle of one of the single barrel offerings they had. They bought some glasses, some shirts, some swag there. And this is at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
On a Saturday.
Yeah. And really the most heartwarming part of that story was, yes, we were able to hit one of our core values of people come first and we care about people. And that's one of the biggest things we lean on. Marlon Gammon, our director of restaurant operations, just kind of stopped what he was doing, took care of those women for 2 hours, gave them a tour, gave them, basically made an experience for them. And he just sets an awesome example for everyone that works under our house. So
what was his name again?
Mad props. Marlon Gammon.
That's who it was. So they were at the counter when I walked in. So they had just finished doing the tour and everything. And Marlon was actually giving them samples of some of the different single barrels that you guys, some of the different barrel picks that you guys have available right now, like from some of the local fire departments. And
Powell and the Powell picks and fire departments. Yep.
Yeah. And so those ladies were sampling those. And I was like, man, it looks like I got here just after a good time. And Marlon goes, nope, you got here at the right time. Come on up. And started pouring me samples.
Saturday.
Yeah, everyone needs to start their Saturday at 11 a.m. like that.
Hey, a restaurant like that, you got to prep early. That's what they do.
Absolutely. So yeah, Ann says Marianne Eves is amazing. Absolutely. I've got that black label bottle in my house, and also the barrel pick that she worked on as well, which was fantastic. There was a question here while we have you, Aaron, from Austin, who is a great supporter of the show here. Is Aaron Harris able to address whispers we've heard of a Watershed rye whiskey?
He's so nosy, isn't he?
I mean, maybe I just feel like it's a question from the audience, and I don't know if it's a no comment type of an answer. Is there what's the answer there?
So, I can be, if I'm nothing else, I'm honest. So yes, we have tried producing some rye whiskeys. We've had some since before I got here. They've been aging for a long time, and they're beautiful barrels. But we're waiting for the right release time for those. We did experiment with a couple of rye recipes. One was a subtle 51% rye whiskey. It wasn't quite what I wanted. We really didn't get a whole lot of spice out of it that we wanted.
Okay.
And then we went to a 65% rye whiskey recipe. Now, rye whiskey, it's not going to be rye bourbon. No, with that, looks like for now we're going to put away about 20 barrels of it this year, and then we're going to make our main focus on our bourbon.
Okay.
But rye whiskey, yes. Austin, Nosy, yes. We're going to make it.
I had to put it up on the screen there.
Well, since you actually mentioned that they had made some rye attempts prior to you joining, Tuesday when I was talking with Aaron, he goes, "Yeah, I sampled some of those, and I had to go hide them in a corner because I don't want other people like going around sampling them or putting them in with like a single barrel pick because they were just so good." He's like, "I got to hide those."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're hidden with some barrels titled ASM and rye whiskey.
Well, that's fantastic.
He said, "Thank you for your disclosure."
So what's next for you, Aaron, with this year as it's flying by? You're sampling all the single barrels. I mean, how many single barrel projects are we working on over there? Are you guys, is there anything new, bourbon or whiskey or any of your other spirits? Is there anything new coming down the pipeline that people need to know about or should be looking forward to?
We're going to have our seasonal spirits, of course. We'll have an extra, rendition of our 6-year apple brandy finish this year, and
nice.
We'll most likely do a pretty good batch of our Nochino finish release again. I don't quite know if we're going to do the Burchino again. I know that it has a little bit of traction, but it didn't make the pounce we wanted to on it. But for right now, we know we'll do the Nochino. As far as single barrels go, we had allotted something like 50 barrels for all markets this year.
Okay.
We're going to blow past that number. I got to think, marketing. I got to think social media. I got to think everybody, everyone, sales, production team, the kitchen and bar, who was one of our biggest clients. I mean, people want a unique single barrel, and we are that. And it feels like we're doing one every week. So it's been fantastic. Sometimes 2 a week. I think last week, I know we did 2 picks, and I think 3 or 4 barrels were gone during that time. So we're doing some good stuff. We are working with some engineering firms to expand our footprint and try to maximize our facilities, to upgrade some equipment. So it's an exciting time. It's a realistic time because, you can theorize all you want, but until you actually, get going, you're not going to get anywhere. So I can say we are doing that, and I got a great team. These guys are fantastic for guys that didn't come from other distilleries. They take to distilling like a duck on water. That's the only way I can describe it. They're great co-workers, and they set a great tone for the rest of the distillery and the rest of the team. So proud of everyone and what they're doing right now.
When we had you on the first time, I think that was back in the fall, you had recently made the move up here to Ohio from Kentucky and became the head distiller at Watershed. How long have you been at Watershed now?
Celebrate a year in March. Celebrated a year in March. And then with that, November last year, took over as director of operations as far as distilling and bottling. So now overseeing distilling, bottling, shipping, processing, blending, everything. So with that, we are looking to bring people up within the ranks. So we set a great model for bringing people up into our company, and keeping talent in house, and that's a trend I hope we continue to do.
Yeah, that's always nice to see that, and obviously there's more identity, I think, with the company at that point. I wanted to comment also, just curious. I mean, I know you guys have good stuff. Seen a lot of barrel picks, different bars will have barrel picks they work with, different distilleries. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your skirt there, but I have been personally very surprised on the uniqueness of the different picks from Watershed, but I haven't really had any that I just was like, nah, not that one. And I've had some, bars that I've been to local here in Columbus, everyone's doing it now, obviously. And there's certain distilleries that I think are really hit or miss, and I'm very cautious to spend, even if it is a $15 pour or what have you, for some of these barrel picks. Yeah. When I see certain distilleries on there, when I see Watershed, we've had the opportunity, thanks to you, thanks to Ann, thanks to Greg, to have different ones here in the garage and also get some, as far as like the Marianne Eve stuff more recently. It's been a consistent pleasure to try the different ones, and I'm curious, is that something that really you have to do, like have a huge influence on that, what people are picking from, or is it the people that are coming to you guys, is it all on them? I'm curious on that process, because I know that because I have some contacts at different bars locally, that I've been disappointed in some of the picks they're doing, because they get too different. When you guys talk, like, you like the uniqueness, Nate, you talk about it, Aaron, and everyone loves, if you're going to do something like as a barrel pick, it's got to taste different than everything else that you put out, right? There's got to have some uniqueness to it to justify a higher price tag, to do the, whatever the name is on it. But it's like, what's the key to doing that? Are there barrels that you're just like, no, this is not going to be available to anyone pick because I don't like it. I don't think it's too far out there. We need to use this in our 4-year blended or whatever it is.
Yes. I really appreciate hearing that. And I know if Greg was listening, he'd love hearing it too. And he'd appreciate it a whole lot. I think I didn't distill anything right now. I didn't distill anything that's being picked right now. I didn't have a hand in it.
Right.
Yes, I have changed the way we are producing now. Yes, I am changing QC specs, the way we're blending, the way we are making our cuts, everything. Now I have touched all that. Am I the be all and end all? Absolutely not. I'm still learning, and I hope I'm still learning when I'm 90 years old. So, however, if we just pay attention to a few things, you can change perceptions. You can change the world, as long as you're keeping, some really strong QC metrics, which we are. We've built a pretty good database for the work we're doing. And I will not let out a single barrel that I wouldn't buy myself. I'm not going to do it, especially now they put their name on the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that, like,
okay. Tuesday,
you were like, how'd they get my signature on the bottle? Like, how'd they find that?
Pulled up a W-2, I guess. I don't know. No, it's a whole team thing. We have a great team with great palates, and even today, Tommy Householder, who is one of our big sales guys here in Columbus, he and our bottle shop manager, Amy Jones Wills, were helping me with the blend for this new bottle and bond. So, it's not on me. It's a great team, and I'm very fortunate that I've got them to lean on if I'm ever needing something. So,
no, it's fantastic, and I see. I mean, you guys have always put out good products, but when I am at a bar and I see the old Watershed Bourbon, I'm like, have you guys had the new stuff? Because clearly this, like, I don't know how many you bought of that, but if that's still sitting on the shelf and you don't have the new 4-year blended or the bottled and bond, or
I'll buy it back.
I'll let them know that. I'll let them know that, because it's one of those things that we talked about, I think, the last time you were on, is that, how much on the bourbon side, it's the Watershed product has just grown up so quickly.
Yeah,
from that initial product, and now all these single barrel programs that are going on with you guys. But I appreciate you sharing that.
And I'll piggyback off what you said a moment ago. Not counting this bottle, I think I have purchased at least 6 different single barrels from Watershed, and I've sampled several others, like some of those that are available in the bottle shop right now. And like, not only are they all really good bottles, which, like you said, we've had some where they've been hit or miss from certain places,
for sure,
but they're all unique as well. They've all been absolutely fantastic bottles, but yet unique from one another and unique enough from the everyday products that they're putting out.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing accomplishment for a distillery that's, only been around, for 12 years now.
Yes. 2010, making gin since 2010. That's what's instilled in us.
Yeah. I like that. Well, what else? Is there anything else? I don't want to keep you the whole night. This is a special, Monday night show. No topic tonight. No.
I will say this about the Barrel 811. So Barrel 811, I've been picking that. I've been, tasting that barrel since we did our first batch of bottled and bond back in March or April of last year, and it was passed over several times, and we were going to blend it out and just, try to get it into production somewhere. And when we got these picks ready for OHLQ to sample from, myself and my operations specialist, Donnie Austin, were like, let's just have a joke and throw in 811 for Ann, because she'll see it immediately and know what it is.
She's familiar with that barrel.
He knows it. And we pulled a sample from it and we're like, oh my God, what the hell happened? And it completely just... it had aged 5 years. It was delicious, obviously, and it's been passed over for every big release we've had, I think. And then boom, it's finally of age. And really, what would have happened if we'd had 50 other barrels of those right now and hadn't used them all? I mean, they would all have gotten to that point, I feel like.
That's cool to hear, because you just never know when that sweet spot's going to be. And I think you guys are still learning, obviously, with the facility you have and how things age. People always talk about that, with, rick houses and how 2 barrels sitting right next to each other.
Holes.
You got those certain spots in there that are going to be the sweet spots of the honey. But that's interesting. I mean, I think that's obviously it takes a lot of years, and also there's the business side of it. Like, we can't just let them all sit here for another several years. We got to put something out at some point. You know what I mean? So
I think that's why Greg saved that bottle for last when we did the tasting. Because here we were drinking all 4 to 5 year stuff, all bottled and bond stuff.
Yeah.
They're, 4 grain mash bill, 22% rye. All right, here's the old stuff. Here's what we started out with that kind of put us on the map originally.
Yeah. And
it was just so vastly different. I think he did that bottle last for that very reason.
Well, it's evolution. It's straight up evolution. If we're not evolving, we're not learning, we're not creating. So that barrel is testament to it for sure.
Well, unfortunately, you can't go back. Unfortunately. But I tell you what, I did not have the opportunity to try all the other ones. I hope I have an opportunity to find some of those bottles going forward from the 6 barrels that OHLQ has put out. But I will tell all the listeners out there, if you're listening now live, or if you come back and listen to this, I hope you do. This Ohio Dutch Apple, don't be scared about the proof. I know some people get excited about the proof, and they just buy it for that.
Yeah, the guy that heads the Central Ohio Whiskey Society, I think his name's Eric Smith.
Yeah.
When Greg was going around saying, raise your hand if whatever is your favorite bottle, and I raised my hand on this one, he was about 5 feet away from me. He just looks over me and goes, proof whore. I'm like, no, this is just I didn't know it was that strong when I first sampled it.
So well, that's what I've said. Like, I think this is one that you don't just necessarily get because of the proof. I mean, obviously if you find any of them, I would definitely snatch them up. What is the price of these bottles? And if you're out there,
$59.99.
Is that the official
$59.99?
Yeah, $59.99. That's what it says on OHLQ.
Okay.
I don't think you make the pricing.
Yeah, when we were talking about it, that's what we figured, because that's the normal price.
That's the normal price for a single barrel. Yeah. Wasn't sure if they were going to do something different because it's an OHLQ,
right?
Private selection single barrel. but according to OHLQ's website, and just put it up there, $59.99.
Okay, so
right.
perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, I would definitely grab any of them. But this one here that I have had the pleasure of trying here tonight, and I did on Saturday. But it's a great flavor. It really is, and it doesn't drink like you would think 140 would drink like.
No.
I think it's got a lot of flavor. It's not all heat like I think people would look at it, and it's like the names of some of these. There's some, I think, notes of whatever's on the bottle. But don't be afraid of like the lemon pie or the if you don't like apple, like this doesn't taste like an apple whiskey or anything like that. This is something that's got some notes, I think, more on the nose of that. But
if you'd have been able to go when you read the descriptions and the tasting notes and the proofs, if you'd have gone, which bottle would you have picked?
I didn't try the others.
No, I know. I'm saying it just based on those descriptions that they sent out. Would you have picked something different?
It's tough. I mean, because again, it's
because you and I do have different palates,
right?
And I wanted to pick one that to me, I was like, this is the most unique thing. I love this one. I hope Steve likes it too.
I do. It's tough.
I could have gone more conservative, like more middle of the road, sweeter, that we both would have enjoyed. But yeah, I just wanted to do something that for me stood out.
So I do want to offer this note, Aaron, and to Ann or whoever. She says creme brulee all the way. But when Nate was describing the event, I asked when the guy said, proof for it.
Good point.
And it was something I was like, how, you already knew? Like they just like, this is the proof and everything like that. It would have been cool. You can't have 6 pours and another 6 pours and assume that everyone's going to get home okay. But it would have been nice to do maybe a quick blind, like, hey, take a sip of 1, take a sip of 2, go down the road and hey, note down anything, think of what you want to do, and then maybe release this is what 1 is, this is what 2 is, this is what 3 is. Now go through the line again, you know what I mean, from the same pours, because we've done tastings before at distilleries where you do take a sip, but there's a like Old Forester had the whole thing,
absolutely,
where you had the Whiskey Row series, and it was like, well, don't finish that first one yet. I want you to come back to that. Of course, there's some asshole that finishes it too.
There were 2 people that didn't pay attention.
Yeah, well, she said it in the beginning. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. Like we've been on this tour for 45 minutes. Like, do you have a flask at a distillery? Like, Jesus Christ, man. But no, it's like I think that would be a cool thing to get that just true blind tasting of 6 different products to get that honest part of it.
Yeah.
Because I like that. That would be fun. I'd have to offer a food option next time for sure. With that crowd.
Something more than a charcuterie tray.
Probably we have to do some fried pork rinds and some piccadillies, some good stuff.
Those piccadillies are fantastic. Have you had those?
What are the piccadillies?
They're like the pickle that's got the little cream cheese.
And yes. Yeah.
You have to order 2 orders. So I think 3 come out.
Okay.
It's definitely fine dining appetizers.
They're not portions for guys like us. I tell you that. But the flavor is huge on all of it. But
great food. We talked about that, absolutely.
All right, Aaron. Anything else from you for our audience here? We're coming up to it's over 50 minutes. I don't want to keep you, like I said, and I appreciate your time. Is there anything else that everyone needs to know from you at this point?
Drink your bourbon.
Like it.
Drink your bourbon. I don't produce stuff to put on a shelf and stare at for 50 years. Drink it. Enjoy it with your friends. Enjoy it with your family. Tell everybody the Watershed story and what we stand for. And
you sent me a message about that a couple weeks ago when I posted about a single barrel. It was the Founder Select that I finished off, and I was like, I can't sit there and have like 30 open bottles of whiskey. I got to finish some of these, and why just let them collect dust? Might as well drink it.
It's nice to share some of these more unique bottles, but I will encourage people that you get this bottle, you want it to last, a year or 2, have a sip of it on certain nights, but you can always buy the 4-year blend. You can always buy, the bottle and bond. If those you can find every day, but
they still have some of that 6-year that was finished in apple brandy at the bottle shop.
And that's 79, I think.
Yeah, that was a good bottle.
Very
123.1 proof.
So good.
I will say this. Quick plug: our bottled and bond and our blended bourbon just took home gold medals from San Francisco World Spirit Competition, and I believe our 6-year finish took silver, and 4 Peel Gin took silver. So, quick plug on that. That's just a testament to doing the right things, and doesn't matter if it's a bottle that's going to an everyday customer, or if it's a bottle going to San Francisco. It's good. So,
absolutely
proud of that.
You guys are killing it. As we've said the last several times you guys have been on the show, and we've had the opportunity to even have Marianne Eves on the show before. And you guys, I can't say enough positive things, and the fortune that we have to be so close to a distillery here in Columbus, Ohio, where years ago that was unheard of. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing down there. And if you guys are in the Columbus area, if you're not in the Columbus area, you can get your hands on any of these products. Definitely, try to do that. Mm-hmm. Come up from Florida like that lady did. Whatever you got to do. You guys made a name for yourself, and future is definitely bright.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Nate, you good?
I'm good.
All right, man. Maybe we'll have to finish these. Maybe one more pour.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, Aaron. Thank you very much. Thank you guys out there for everything that you do and tuning in on a Monday night to the Bourbon and BS podcast. I don't even know what to call this series. Just a Monday.
Single barrel special broadcast.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Don't call it Case of the Mondays. Anything but that's fine.
You got it. All right. Noted.
I was trying to do as much as I could with the BS initials.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We don't have to do it on air. I mean, we'll figure it out later. Maybe after another pour. But Aaron, thanks so much. Watershed, check them out, and make sure you are out and about and follow your emails. If you're not on the Watershed email list, go to watersheddistillery.com, sign up for a tour, get on their email list. There's a lot of good information. That's how you found out about some of these special products. If you go OHLQ, also a quick plug to their emails. They're being more and more informative on what's happening in the state of Ohio when it comes to spirits and enjoying what's available. So, guys, happy Whiskey Monday. Cheers. We will see you on Wednesday at our regular time with a new special project, and we have another distillery on. So check us out on Wednesday night. And Aaron, you're always welcome on the show, in the garage, even if you can get away.
Oh yeah,
Wednesday night. All right, guys, take care.
You guys are first class. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.